fade in. Exterior road, day. The vast expanse of the Texas desert stretches out before us, with nothing but straight, empty road cutting through it. Suddenly, a small dot appears in the distance, gradually growing larger as it approaches. As it gets closer, we can make out the shape of a sedan, steadily making its way along the lonely highway. Interior sedan, moving, day. A woman, 20s, is in the driver's seat. Her carefree demeanor is evident as the wind blows her hair and she takes a final gulp of her Mountain Dew. In the back seat, her 5-year-old daughter is playing with a doll, laughing as the wind tousles their hair. The girl waves the doll up and down until it slips from her grasp, falling to the floorboard.
Mama, I dropped them!
The sound of blaring music from the car's radio drowns out the little girl's high-pitched voice calling for her mother. The woman sings along with the song at the top of her lungs while rushing wind through the open window amplifies the chaotic scene. The girl reaches down to grab her toy doll, but the seatbelt prevents her from leaning forward, causing her to squirm and fidget in her seat. Exterior road, day. In the distance behind the sedan, an old truck comes barreling down the straight Texas road, swerving erratically as it gains on the sedan. Interior old truck, moving, continuous. A man, 50s, Mexican, clenches the steering wheel tightly, sweat pouring down his face as he struggles to maintain control. Fear fills his eyes as he bears down on the sedan. He checks the rearview mirror and floors the gas pedal, trying to outrun his pursuer. A state trooper vehicle roars into view, closing in on him with every second. The man's heart pounds in his chest as the trooper rams into the back of his truck, jolting him forward. He grits his teeth and pushes the gas pedal all the way down, determined to escape. As the trooper struggles to keep up, the man pulls away, his truck swerving dangerously from side to side. Interior sedan, moving, day. The little girl is still desperately trying to reach for her doll. She unbuckles her seatbelt and hops down to grab it. She holds the doll up with excitement, unaware of the danger approaching. Mom's eyes widen in terror as she spots the old truck barreling towards them in the rearview mirror. Exterior road, day. Continuous. The old truck slams into the back of the sedan, causing it to skid off-road and violently roll over. The sedan comes to a stop right side up, but completely wrecked. The driver of the old truck regains control and continues speeding on down the road, his engine now emitting smoke. The state trooper's vehicle slams on its brakes and screeches to a halt. Trooper, late 40s, a seasoned officer with a weathered face and a well-groomed mustache, steps out of his car, his piercing eyes surveying the scene. Upon reaching for his radio, he hesitates and ultimately decides not to report the incident. He looks back at the fleeing old truck, his expression determined. As it disappears into the distance, it leaves a trail of smoke in its wake. Trooper turns his attention back to the sedan and walks over to the vehicle. He sees the woman in the driver's seat. She's slumped over, not moving. The windshield is shattered and airbags have been deployed. There's a small fire in the engine causing smoke to rise. He looks into the back seat. There's no little girl.
Ma'am, can you hear me?
Trooper cautiously approaches the sedan and reaches into the driver's side window to check the woman's pulse. Her eyes shoot open and she coughs violently, blood spraying from her mouth.
My baby.
She doesn't move her body. Only her eyes turn towards Trooper.
Don't move. You're going to be okay. We're going to get you out of there, all right?
She looks into his eyes with terror. Her chest rapidly contracts as she tries to catch her breath. She motions with her eyes to the front windshield. Trooper follows her gaze to see a hole punched clean through the glass. The edge is stained with blood. He spots a toy doll wedged in between the glass and the dashboard.
My baby.
Trooper's eyes shift, focusing on something ahead of the vehicle. He carefully makes his way to the front of the car. A few feet in front of the car on the ground is the little girl face down. As he gets closer, he notices her arm unnaturally twisted behind her back, evoking a sense of dread. As he checks her pulse, he finds no signs of life. He lowers his head. His jaw tightens and he stands up, his focus now on the fleeing truck. He goes back to the woman driver. She's struggling to get more air in her lungs. She loses the fight. as Trooper gets to her as she dies. Trooper's eyes gloss over as he stares into the woman's lifeless eyes. He snaps to and looks back down the road at the now distant truck. He gets back in his vehicle, peels out, and speeds off after the truck. The wrecked sedan catches fire. It sits alone in the vastness of the desert, smoke rising high into the sky. The road looms out of place, a cut into the beauty of it all. Title: Unforgiven Road.